Hi, so I'm just going to talk about the documentation for Predbat today. When you open the GitHub repository, obviously if you scroll down to the bottom here, there's the landing page, which you also get from Hacks. If you click through here, there's a documentation link and there's a YouTube channel link. It's obviously a YouTube channel you're probably on if you're watching this, but if you click through to it, you can obviously get the list of the different playlists that are recommended. So this is the installation for new installs and basic explanation, some other videos on configuring different things, and a list of features. So if you're after particular features, you can go scroll down and have a look and see if you can find the different features in the list that you're after. Anyway, I'm just going to talk about documentation today. So if we go through to the documentation site, quite a few people have been supporting Predbat by helping out improving the documentation. So thanks very much to all of those people. Really appreciate that. Makes life easier for everyone. So we click through. There's obviously an introduction here, which is just a basic page. Information on how the basic program functions. So it explains here what happens, about how it runs every 5 minutes, generating plans. It explains all the terminology, what's an SOC, what's the inverter, etc., etc. Hopefully most of this is obvious, but some of these things are specific to the tool, like what's a slot. It mentions Predbat modes, and there's a link here to a full description of the different modes. Mentions the different statuses that you could get and what they actually mean as well. So obviously look at the status there. Then once you understand that, the installation summary is just kind of walks through the basic steps of installation if you haven't done it already, and with links to the different sections. There's also links to the step-by-step installation videos. So that's all there, and then installation details then gives you the different points of how to install the different inverters that are supported, how to edit the configuration files, how to go through the install with AppDaemon, or etc., etc., how to configure log files, what to do for manual install if you're running in some sort of Docker, you might need that, how to install Solcast, setting energy rates, configuring the apps.yaml, how to get going, and what to do next. So there's all of that there. There's a section on energy rates and how to configure them. So whether you're using the Octopus integration, how that links up, or if you're if you're going to use saving sessions, how to set the saving session sensor, what the scaling things are, how to override them. This is a neat feature here where you can just point to a URL for a tariff and then you can see what it would actually give you if you chose to use a different tariff. Remember to put it in read-only mode if you're doing that though. Then how to manually configure rate bands. You can also override rates, so you can use your normal rates and then you can override it. You can also apply load scaling. So for a particular time period, either on a day or regularly, so you can actually scale your standard. So this might be useful if you were going to do a power up or a saving session manually. So here I'm saying on my load scaling, I'll go down to 0.8. Then there's information on how to do offset rates, which how to also predict future energy rates with Agile and the Nord pool. So that might be useful. Then there's the walkthrough of all the settings in apps.yaml and what they do. So you can look at all the basic settings for the system, the inverter settings, how to get data, controlling the inverter, Solcast information, the energy rate settings, car charging settings, how you do planned car charging. Obviously, if you've got multiple cars, load forecasting, balance inverters and various workarounds that you can deploy for issues, how you configure the battery charging curve. Triggers are also another feature where you can use that to trigger other things, like I want to turn my washing machine on when I've got spare solar. A bit more information on how days previous works and how it's actually calculated. There's a nice section that's written recently by one of our contributors. Then there's a whole section on car charging planning, which I suggest you read if you're going to set up an electric car. Noting there's two different ways of doing car charging planning. One is where Predbat decides when the car is going to charge, and then you write an automation to make this car charge in those times. The other one is when your car's either charging is out of its control, either through Octopus Intelligent or just through some other system, and then you inform it when it's going to charge. There's a configuration guide here about different energy rates and how you might configure them. So if I'm going to use, for example, Octopus Go in Economy 7, it's got some recommended settings. If I'm going to use Agile, then it's got some other settings. They're only recommendations, you don't have to use them. And then there's a section on customization here and various other things that you can do. Automatic saving and restoring of your settings. So if you're going to mess around with it, save your current settings, then you can mess around and you can just restore them from the drop down menu. There's information on the Predbat mode and how that works, difference between the different modes, what monitor does, SOC only, charge and discharge, expert modes, information on the battery loss options and how they work, scaling and weighting, some modal filter settings, car charging options, various calculation options if you have performance issues, etc. Various battery margins that you can look at, and some other inverter control options, things like low power mode, which I do mention in some of the other videos. Balance inverters and how to use that if you've got more than one inverter. It's distinct from just having multiple batteries on the same inverter, but if you've got two different inverters, you may need to synchronize them. iBoost modeling, how holiday mode works, how you can use manual control to override and force charges and discharges and idles using the drop-down menu. And you've got some plan debug information here and standard debug. And then we've got the links to the video guys. This isn't complete. There's more appearing on YouTube. I need to update this again. It's got links to some of the basic ones. There's a bit of an FAQ here. This could do with a bit more improvement, but it's got some common things on there. If you find some answers to these things on the FAQ as well, why not contribute to it? Just make a pull request or send the text in. I'll add it, no problem. There's also about viewing output data section here, what the data means, what the different entities are that are created, things about the dashboard and the log file, how you there's an example script here for resetting Give TCP, which is for the Give Energy inverters if it starts going wrong. That might be useful. How to monitor for Predbat errors as well. And then there's the thing about the plan card, how that works, how to set it up, what the plan looks like, how to understand what the plan means, the different symbols on it. It explains the different columns in the plan and how they work. And then there's a section on creating charts, what the things on the charts actually mean, how to create these charts, and how to read them. And then there's some development things, so how there's some links to other inverters other than the Give Energy and how those work. And then there's some guidance if you want to actually create your own changes to Predbat and then push them back in, what the standards are, etc. So please do take a look at the documentation. Please contribute to it if you can make it better as well. Thanks very much.